everyone, welcome back to 25 Sweetpeas. Today for you, I'm going to be testing the new Zoya Naked Manicure Rescue Plus Repair Kit that they sent over. It comes in this really nice little like cosmetic bag. It has the zippers, comes all the way across, all the way open I should say, and folds open, and then you have like two compartments on the inside. It comes with the little guide as to how to use the kit, which I think is really nice. It like goes into the details about the kit, shows you what comes in it. So you get the rescue repair system, includes a serum, a base coat, a file that also has like a buffer on it, and then a orange wood stick. And it shows you a little bit of like what else is in the Naked Manicure line. I actually really like their lotion and just like the Naked Manicure system in general. It talks about the serum too as well. It tells you how to use it, so we'll be going over that later on in the video. And it also of course advertises some of the other Naked Manicure products. So inside we have the stuff zipped up in the mesh side of the bag. There appear to be two boxes. Looks like a file, and actually the file looks like it has multiple parts to it, like maybe it has a buffer on one side. So first up we have the Zoya Rescue Serum, which does not have like a brush. It is like an actual like little like dropper, but it does look like a Zoya bottle, so that's a little different. And according to the directions, we're going to be using this first. Then we're going to go, actually let's open it and see what it looks like. Okay, so we got the little squeezy thing here, not like a pointed dropper or anything. It's just like it's cut off at the end, and it looks like it just drops out of there. Not majorly precise or like sized. Then the next box, it says it is the repair base coat, which I believe is what you put on top of the serum, which is definitely different because I think we've all been trained and we've always thought that we were supposed to like take off the extra oils and such from our nails before we put on a base coat if we want our base coat to last. So that is definitely something that's different in this sort of system. It has the white lid that they've been using recently. It's a standard brush, which meh, I wish it was a bigger brush as always. And it's in a frosted bottle, and I like that because that way I know it's like not a top coat or something. That helps it to distinguish from my other bottles. Then we have this file here, and we've got the shaper on one side. Then we have a buffer, it looks like, and I guess like a refiner so we can shape off the sides. And then it also has like this little wooden stick. I think that's just like called an orange stick. Yeah, orange wood stick, where it's kind of got like a cuticle pusher on one side, and then the other side is more pointy, which I prefer to use like to actually like clean under my nails. But this side I do like to use for pushing back my cuticles. It feels like it's definitely like working, which is really nice. I tend to favor metal ones, but I'm really enjoying this wooden one. It works pretty well. I did later on use it, notice that it definitely absorbs the things that you have on your nails. So like if you're like me and like to put on cuticle oil before you push back your cuticles, it'll probably start to absorb some of that. But here are my nails before we actually get started with the system. On this nail I always have like this little like crack line, so I'm interested to see if like this treatment will help it in any regards. I've tried so many different things over the years and nothing really works, so I kind of just work with it. But I'm going to buff that down a little bit to make sure nothing's going to lift, and we're just going to prepare all of my nails that way. So let's speed through that. Of course, you don't have to do a buffing stage on this. I like to do it every now and then, definitely after I've done like my cuticles. That way I can make sure and get off any texture that is left on my nail before I go and put on a base. I did put on a cuticle oil before doing this whole system. It's not like included in the system by any means, but that's just something that I like to do. So you can skip that if you want, or don't skip that, and because in reality everybody should be doing some cuticle oil, but when you do it during the day it's obviously up to you. I find it easier to push back my cuticles when they have been kind of soaking in oil. So we're pushing them back, and then we're going to go ahead and do the full-on system. So getting a little ahead of ourselves here, it says to prep the nail using the file, shape them, smooth any free edge separation, file using as an upward motion and from underneath the nail. Well, I can't go underneath my nail because my nails are too short. After I did that, I did take off like the cuticle oil with some remover. And then I'm moving on to the serum. So it said to put a pea-sized amount of the serum on like a fingertip and then use that to divide among all of the nails and then continue to massage into your nails until it is like completely dry and it's no longer wet on your nails. After you have done that, you will still, I felt like my fingers that touched it had like a bit of like a greasy feel to them. So I definitely know there's like some oil residue there left and it's probably still in your nail beds. But in the directions it says after that is dry to go ahead and put on a thin layer of the base coat. So that is what I am doing here. It applies like normal. It's just like a regular Zoya brush, and since it's a base coat, you don't have to worry about like super great coverage and cuticle lines. I mean, it's nice, but after that, I mean, that's kind of it. It dries pretty quickly. It doesn't feel super tacky as a base coat. I know tacky base coats are good if you want the polish that you're going to wear on top. It did make my nails look nicer from the start, I would say. Like the little crack on that edge of the nail looks a little better. And by crack, I shouldn't say crack actually. It's more like it's peeling, but it's like not peeling. I don't know. But there's what we've just put on, the base coat and the serum. It's definitely a different approach. I feel like the serum is like not going to make this last very long because it does feel like greasy on my fingers from like rubbing it in. But we shall see. Yeah, now I'm going to be popping in for the rest of the video and kind of letting you know what the process was like and how they wore. So let's go get on to that part. Okay, so checking in, I did these on Friday. Today is now Sunday night and adjusted my cuticle oil. And the nails are still looking pretty good. I feel like there's not a ton of tip wear actually. There's like a few little chips on the edges, which is pretty normal. But for all intents and purposes, it's doing pretty good. For me, when I do dishes, I wear gloves, so that helps. They're really only exposed to water when I'm washing my hands or I'm in the shower. So they're not in the water a ton, but still looking pretty good. Let's check the other hand. Okay, so we're on the other hand, and this nail here, my pointing finger, usually chips like on day one. It's doing pretty good. Actually, no major tip wear either. And all around, they're doing pretty good. Again, I just oiled these. So far so good. This is just on me. I'm wearing it with the Zoya base coat, the Orly polishes, and then I used an Orly matte top coat on the other hand, but on this hand I used the Glisten and Glow shiny top coat. So kind of mixing it up here, and it's looking okay. Now on my mom, when she wore it, they chipped off within 12 hours. So not chipped off, but like popped off. So may not work for everybody. And I definitely think it's going to be dependent on how much your hands or your nails are in water. So far for me, it's doing pretty well. So today is Monday and I did these on Friday, and actually, I mean, they still look pretty good. I'm gonna see if I can zoom in here a bit. There is some tip wear, I think you guys can see, but for all intents and purposes, they're doing pretty well. Like I said in yesterday's update clip, I think, because I forgot to do on Saturday, when I wash dishes, I do wear gloves. So, oops, sorry about that. I do wear gloves so they don't like have a ton of water exposure then. And then they really only are exposed to water when I wash my hands and when I shower. So they still have plenty of exposure. And I feel like around the cuticle, it has definitely shrunk, but that was like my top coat. So far so good. I have to take this hand off today because I need to move along in swatching polishes for next week, but I am going to try to keep the other hand on, so let me show you that hand. So here's a hand that doesn't know how to pose. It is still doing really well. I am going to keep this hand on, of course, but it is going to be used to like take off the polish on my other hand, so it might get some tip wear. It does have like a little chip there, but this part of my nail is it like always chips, and I realize like my cuticles look so dry right now. I'm not really sure why I use cuticle oil, but anyway, it's really cold and dry out and windy.
Um, it's doing pretty well, I would say. It definitely needs some cuticle oil, but for all intents and purposes, it's wearing well. It hasn't popped off. I could feel it wanting to lift on one of these. I don't remember. I think it was this one. It felt like it wanted to lift, but I didn't let it. So I think we're doing well. This is staying on. Other hand's coming off, but I will continue to do some updates on this one.
Okay, so I took off my polish and then I did some cuticle oil, but I will say that I think my nails look really good. I feel like because I swatch so much, like towards the like this part of my nail tends to get a little discolored, but I feel like it's kind of just all like the same. I mean, there's a teeny tiny yellowy tint down there, but I actually do feel like it changed how my nails look. I will try to flash on the screen what they look like before, but I feel like there's a difference. I'm gonna turn on the studio lights over here and show you guys too so we can really see, but I think it looks actually a lot better. Okay, even though we're super oily, I do feel like there's a big difference in color. Definitely now I kind of wish I'd taken more pictures beforehand, but I feel like there's a big difference here. They look really good. And also, in case you guys are wondering, um, the cuticle oils that I kind of go between are the Pain and Phalanges ones and the Stella Chroma. Stella Chroma is probably my favorite because they come in the brush, but I just ran out of my favorite like scent of hers, so now I'm trying to like figure out what one I'm going to be using next. Okay, so today is Tuesday. I did the Zoya treatment on Friday, and then yesterday I swatched and I kind of explained why I had to take it off. And my nails are still looking really good. I just put on a base coat after I was done swatching. They look really nice. Let's check out the other hand. So this other hand definitely is showing some wear. So Friday, today's Tuesday. I mean, that's not terrible. Mainly on my thumb and my index finger, which is pretty normal. The others, they're definitely looking worn, but they're not terrible. Okay, today is Wednesday, and I painted these last Friday. As you can see, the wear on my index finger is pretty intense now, and honestly, I'm kind of just tired of them. I feel like they look kind of messy. Back here, there was like major shrinkage, and it just doesn't look good. My thumb's also chipped. So, because I feel like it, I'm going to be taking these off, repainting my nails, but let's see, from a Friday to Wednesday. I mean, that's not too bad. Plus, the treatment underneath is supposed to have like actually benefited my nails health-wise. I don't really know that I'll be able to tell it other than this hand because this hand was pretty good to begin with anyway. But I'm going to be taking these off, so this is probably the last update. My other hand, let me show you real quick. My other hand, I told you I only wore the treatment from Friday to Monday, and I feel like it really did help my nails. I did a big swatch fest on Monday, which is why I took off the polish. And then I just put on a base coat because I didn't know what polish I wanted to wear, and I just wanted to be done painting after like painting like near 10 polishes. So I just had a base coat on, but I feel like they look really good. They do look different than whenever I first did my nails, I would say, with the treatment. So, I mean, this may or may not work for you. For my mom, she wore the treatment and it like popped off within 12 hours. Could have been due to the fact that she was like doing a lot of dishes or just like a lot of water exposure. Don't really know. She did say she wanted to give it another try. I think it's just going to be kind of hit or miss for people. And if nothing else, I do think it's a good treatment to use. Maybe you don't want to use it as a base coat. Maybe you do. Maybe you just kind of want to experiment. But I definitely feel like I see benefits in my nails from it. So that is that.